Okay, so now we're gonna take these actuators out. One, two, that's a T20, three of them. I'm gonna take this T30 for the camshaft sensor and pull up the security tab, then press down. Sometimes I help from the other side. There we go. We got the ignition coils, camshaft sensor, T30, and just slowly work it out. Okay, now for this little harness, this little harness, one clip here, one clip on the other side, and this little tab I gotta press in and pull. There are two clips on the other side. And just put it out of the way. Now we get T20 and get these three little bolts. Oh my goodness, everything is so rusty. Nothing's coming out. This one came out. Careful, this hasn't been open for a long time. There we go. Alright, next we gotta lose these brackets because they're like this and you can reach this bolt that's behind it. And also it makes it easier to move the valve cover straight up. Second bracket over here, they're held by 13mm bolts. On ProMasters we got this radiator hose and pipe that's attached to those bolts, so for studs. So first you need to take two 13mm nuts and then you take the bolts. Let's see if I can get better light. There. Alright, those 13mm studs. Alright, now we slowly work our way up. There we go. It is actually possible to leave the actuators in the valve cover. You have to be extremely careful leaving these actuators in, okay? Service information is calling these to remove them before you attempt to take the valve cover out. And they're doing it for good reason. They're not cheap, okay? So always take them out. I had to leave one in because the bolt is not coming off. It's gonna break. Right, now we're gonna inspect the lobes. Make sure I don't need a camshaft. And I do need a camshaft. Alright, you can see quite a bit actually. This is a big, look at that. Alright, that's been eaten away pretty good. Pretty good. Alright. So next step, I gotta bring the engine to top dead center. Get my socket for the crankshaft pulley bolt. Then I have to line up these arrows facing each other. Right? On the left side, you bring the arrows over here so they facing each other on both cams. On the right side, over there, it's the lines. Let's see if I'm gonna clean the old sealant. Every time there are parts mating together, there's a little bit of sealant in there, just in case. So I'll make it nice and clean. Okay, here we have the timing kit for 3.6 Pentastar. So normally you pay about $300 for a kit like this from Mopar, the OEM. I don't have $300 to spend, so I believe I paid around $80 for this one. It's from Amazon. You can buy it on eBay. So what I noticed, these blocks are made from slightly different material than the Mopar ones. So hopefully it's gonna last as long as the Mopar does. It's more smooth to the touch than the Mopar. Otherwise it looks exactly the same. There is no difference otherwise. Now I got 2 grenade pins for the tensioner, which is great because you need one that's angled up and you need one that's straight to hold the tensioner in position. So I'm gonna cut one off, and I'm gonna have one straight pin and one bent. And then obviously we have these to relieve the tension on the chain, which sometimes I don't use those. Alright, so this one is for the left side. So I got the arrows facing each other. I'm gonna slide this block in. And nice, actually fits pretty good. It is a little tight, just like the Mopar one was when it was brand new. So that's a good sign. Nice, all the way in. Good. Now I can lose those oil control valves. 36 millimeters. You can also double check if sometimes you're not sure if the arrows should face each other or the marks. You can check on the camshaft. Over here you got the hole facing up, and you got the letters LLE as the left exhaust. This one we have the mark L intake, LI, and again the dot facing up, the hole facing up. Alright, so I pulled out the oil control valves, the bolts from the phasers. Now I can remove this hold block. before I pull them out, I'm gonna have to set the tensioner. Now this tool, the grenade pin, that has a 90-degree sharp bend, that is to release the locking mechanism inside the tensioner from the side. After we release it, we need to press that guide for the chain to go inside so we can press the tensioner in. After we press it in, we take this other tool and stick it in the hole here, and that will hold the tensioner in place so that the arm, the cylinder inside the tensioner is not gonna come back. Alright. Now one of these will work to press the tensioner, to press the guide. So you're basically going to be pressing the guide to go into the tensioner. If you can see. Alright. Basically I have to go where this hole is from the top. You go down until you'll find that hole that's on the side, and you gotta put this one in. You gotta twist it so it goes inside, push it inside, and then you'll lift up, and that's gonna release the pole, almost like a parking pole, so the teeth on the cylinder that's inside the tensioner are released, and then you can press the cylinder inside. Alright, I'm in. So now you can see when I lift up, you can see that little bolt, that flathead bolt. You can see the oil around it lifting up. There we go. Okay, now I'm inside. I lift up, and you can see the movement in there. Okay, so that means now it's open. Now all I have to do is press on this other tool to push it in, and then with my third hand, I wish I had one, I could stick that grenade pin in the hole to hold it in place. So I'm gonna have to let go of my phone, let go of my camera. Now the reason I put the zip tie in there is just a protection, so I don't lose this pin, right? If it falls inside, this is extra security that it's gonna catch somewhere. It's not gonna drop inside the case, right? We don't want that. Alright, this grenade pin is still in, so now I'm gonna push up. Now I'm gonna squeeze it. Alright, now push the pin all the way in. No, still not in. I wonder what's going on there. I might need to push it in with a screwdriver. Yeah, this is a new tool I just bought, this plastic piece. I mean, it looks like it works good, but for some reason it's not going all the way in. I wish I could see a little better. Alright, let's see if this pin is all the way in. Alright, so why this pin is not going all the way in? get a screwdriver and push directly on that cylinder that pushing the guide pin. I mean the guide for the chain. Alright, now I can take the other oil control valve out. Right, make sure the plunger moves in and out easily. Now I can take these phasers off with the chain together. I didn't want that. The chain fell off from the other one. That's alright. Just gotta carefully put it back in. Leave the chain on the phasers. Because you don't want the chain to get stuck inside the case. Because if something happens, then we're screwed, and we need to take the whole timing cover off. Alright, good. Just like this. Okay, now before I remove the caps on the left side cylinder head only, I need to set these camshafts into their zero position, so basically like an unsprung position. Right now some of the springs are under tension, so what I gotta do, I gotta turn it a little bit clockwise there. See, now it's under tension. Now if I go to this side, now I release the tension. Okay, so now it's in the zero position. Yeah, that's very important, otherwise you might damage the threads, or you might lock the camshaft when you are going to be putting these caps and forcing the camshaft to go in. Alright, so always make sure the camshaft is in its neutral position. It's not under pressure. All the springs are not under pressure. Alright, same thing with this. I'm gonna go the same direction. Alright. Obviously we don't want to turn the camshaft too much. We don't want to hit the valves to the piston. So we just want to do the, until you see that it's freely moving back and forth, you stop. Right? Freely moving back and forth, and we stop. Good. Now I can take these caps off. I already lose them with a ratchet, and really good quality socket, because sometimes those Torx bolts with the heat and cold heat, they get pretty tight to remove. So you want to have a good quality socket. I'm not gonna take any chances, and because I know both camshafts are bad, I'm gonna have at least 2 rocker rollers bad. So I'm just gonna go ahead and replace all the lifters and the followers, or the rocker arms. We're gonna make sure obviously that the bearing caps have no damage. If they do, we'll have to replace the whole cylinder head, because these caps are honed to the cylinder head. All the caps are marked, so it's basically foolproof, right? Number 1, 2, 3, 4 intake, arrow facing to the chain. Just make sure you don't swap them with the other cylinder head. This is why I always do one cylinder head, and when I'm done I move on to the other cylinder head. Also, when you're handling these camshafts, especially the new camshafts, be careful on this reductant wheel. Right, this is where the engine sees the position of the camshaft through the camshaft sensor. If you put this anywhere near something magnetic, this can get destroyed, right? And then you need the whole camshaft. So be very careful. Don't put it close to the other one. Don't put it close to anything magnetic. All right, here is the bad one. You can see by just looking at it, it has been eating the camshaft out. And when this happens, the rocker arm keeps hitting the lobe, right? It's not touching the bearing anymore. The rocker arm itself is touching the camshaft lobe. So yeah, that's the problem. They have a bad design or bad material or something's going on. So we're just gonna replace all of them, so the car won't ever come back. Replace these lifters too. And it is really interesting because when you have a bad camshaft, oh look at that, this one fell apart. Wow, I have never seen that before. With my long nose pliers. Look at this, guys. It's the first time I've seen that. Alright. Whoops. Alright, now it's on the floor. My clumsy fingers. So yeah, this is the problem. Since I'm not sure what the problem is, if it's the lifter that collapsed or if it's the needle bearing inside those rockers. That's why I always replace the whole lot. This way I'm sure it's gonna be fixed 100% and it's never gonna come back. So here, one more time, got a little better light. You can see the camshaft's been eating over here, and a little bigger damage over here on the other cam. And this is the right side cylinder head. This right side cylinder head actually wasn't that loud. I heard the knocking more from the left side. Always put a little bit of oil whenever the parts are touching each other. left intake. Put a little bit of oil everywhere it's gonna touch something. I use a little heavier oil, 040 or 530, whatever you guys have.